looking like this is going to be something like the Great Depression, like the economic crash that's about to happen. And it's all, it seems like it's coming into the language of, well, this great reset that everybody's talking about, just like basically crashing everything so we can build back better. And
Right.
then at the same time, you've got this, things heating up on the Ukrainian border. One of my friends was telling me, he's like, he's seen in the lockdown just three types of people. The lads that have been binging on Netflix and video games, and they just don't really have a clue what's going on, and they could just
Yeah.
really care less. They just hopefully like they can go back to like the games. Like physically be in the stadium. And then you have people who are just like, they're not into their faith, but they're just opening their eyes and they're starting to see like things adding up, and it's leading them to despair, because as you're saying, like
Right.
these guys are like making moves, nothing's happening, no one's doing anything, it's just like this bulldozer. They fall into despair. And then you have another group of people who believe, who have faith, and I think, like, especially in the context of Fatima, which I'm convinced it's still very, very, present today, and this call for
Yeah.
prayer and penance, and the people with faith, we look up and we see that our blessed mother promised, my at the end, Russia will convert, which it looks like it is. I mean, I think there's proof that Russia is, like you said, those seeds that, okay, well, maybe the formula wasn't perfect in the consecration, but I just think there's signs that Russia is, and it's the West now that's, like in big trouble. And
Yeah.
my Immaculate Heart will triumph.
Exactly.
So I think that's very hopeful, and I believe someone said it the other day that it's, Saint Joseph. It's so much emphasis on Saint Joseph, because he's coming, because she's right behind him, and he's got to prepare.
Right.
He's got to prepare the way for her triumph. Because her Immaculate Heart is going to triumph, and I think the evil one knows it as well. His time's kind of slipping away, and it's just accelerating. So it is hopeful at the end of the day, the battle, like to know that that is there and that she is the one who stomps on his head. I think it is encouraging. And like the interior battle that we all have on a daily basis, a lot of people, I think it would be important to just start focusing on
And
family and what they're living with on a daily basis. It's
we see people here in Massachusetts, in Cambridge, Massachusetts, right? I think last semester in at Harvard in the fall, there were the only place the freshmen could sneak out to get off campus was go to the Catholic campus ministry. They couldn't go to bars, they couldn't go to parties. So they ended up going to the Catholic campus ministry. And actually, eventually, Harvard had to shut that down.
oh wow.
But because in the fall at Harvard, there were only freshmen were allowed on campus. But there were a number of conversions,
Wow.
right? There were a number of baptisms. So the freshmen were only on campus in the fall. So in December, they had a number of baptisms
Wow. Praise God.
of these freshmen who snuck into Catholic campus ministry because it was the only place they could go. It's the only place they could go off campus.
That's hilarious. That's ideal. So,
But I think that's a sign. I think that's a sign that, right, there are some people that even in the lockdown, you just said it, right? There's some people who they just look around and they say, this can't be right.
yeah.
And they find Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah. Praise God.
And Mary said, my Immaculate Heart will triumph. And I think we see, and we were talking about this a little bit before. What we see is that there may be a little bit of it may seem like there's a little bit of a remnant, but also these people are going to be champions, right? This remnant is going to be champions,
Yeah.
right? It's not just going to be people who just hang on by the skin of their teeth, as they say,
Yeah.
right? But it looks like Our Lady is going to raise also Saint Louis de Montfort said this, that eventually Our Lady would raise a generation of champions who would save the church.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe that it's really make or break. I think the line's been drawn, and like you said, the remnant, especially here in Ireland, is coming out very strong. It's coming out very strong. So praise God for that.